Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you for the latest one of my videos to discuss what was another trophy for Arsenal on Saturday, winning the Community Shield, beating champions Liverpool on penalties at Wembley. Fantastic performance from Arsenal, considering you've got to remember that Arsenal have been back a week, Liverpool have been back far longer than that. They've been over to Austria, they had a training camp together, they were pretty much at full strength against Arsenal. Arsenal very much mix and match. A lot of players not around. No Laka, no Pepe, no Willian. Saliba not even didn't even play any minutes. He was on the bench. No Ceballos obviously from the FA Cup win because his loan hasn't been sorted yet. So it's it's a very mix and match Arsenal team. I have to admit I went into it fearing the worst given the lack of preparation. I mean Arsenal, most of them only had 2 or 3 training sessions before the game. On Saturday, David Luiz only had 1. He trained on Friday and that was it. And he played the full 90 minutes. So I have to admit, I feared the worst against a very, the world, Liverpool, best team in the world, really, at the moment. And fair play to Arsenal for the way they performed. Just followed on basically from where they left off in the FA Cup in the semi-final and the final. Gave up a lot of the ball to Liverpool, as you'd expect. Played that formation that they played 3-4-3, which I'm beginning to like more and more. You can see how it's working. You can see how the new signings were going to fit into that, certainly defensively as well, with Gabriel on the left and Saliba on the right, with Luiz in the middle, and they just played very, very well. First half especially, I thought they were great. It was no surprise they tired a little bit in the second half. Liverpool got themselves back into it, but the first half was great. Bukayo Saka playing on the right side of the attack this time was absolutely superb. Saka, I've wrote a piece on it on goal.com. Please do go and check it out after the game. Just basically the performance made a mockery of Gareth Southgate's decision to leave him out of the latest England squad, especially when you consider he hasn't got any left backs. And I know Saka played really well on the right side of attack yesterday, but he showed last season how well he can play at left back, and he was just fantastic yesterday again, dictating the play. I mean, Auba's goal was absolutely magnificent, as you'd expect, but the pass from Saka, the crossfield pass to pick him out, absolutely gave Aubameyang the one-on-one situation that led to the goal. Fantastic goal as well by Arsenal from the very back start. When Martinez played the ball, beat the press, Bellerin's pass down the line to Saka, and a fantastic finish by Auba. Just a fabulous goal. Could have had more. Nketiah having a shot saved again. Saka providing the pass for that one. And it was just an excellent performance from Arsenal. So fair play to them. Yet another trophy. Yes, it was a Community Shield. It's not really a major trophy. It's not a major trophy. But you could see by Liverpool's reaction, they wanted to win that game. I mean, Sadio Mane couldn't even watch in the penalty shootout when Aubameyang was going to take the deciding penalty. He had his head in his hands. And that showed what it means to Liverpool. And you saw from Jurgen Klopp's reaction, a pretty bad reaction after the game. He didn't like losing that one little bit. So fair play to Arsenal. Just a fantastic win. Another trophy for Mikel Arteta, a second in a month, and it's just a job he continues to do at Arsenal. Just gets more and more impressive by the week. And this is certainly a real confidence boost going into the new season, which is now under 2 weeks away. Arsenal obviously starting with a game against Fulham a week on Saturday in the Premier League. So really, really good for Arsenal. Some excellent performances again from Emi Martinez, from Ainsley Maitland-Niles, 2 players who could well be on the way out at Arsenal, performing so well. And I spoke to Mikel Arteta after the game, and I asked him directly about Martinez, directly about Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He told me there was no bids yet for Martinez. He called it all speculation, but there's no smoke without fire. I mean, there is serious interest in Emi Martinez. He wants to be a number 1. He's showing week in, week out now. He showed again yesterday he can be number 1. Whether it's for Arsenal, we're going to have to wait and see. A really big decision needs to be made in terms of the goalkeepers for Arsenal. I don't think, given the financial situation at the club, given the need to bring in to sell some players, to be able to bring in some more of their targets this summer, I don't think you can really afford to go into the season with Leno and Martinez. They may well do, but I think it's a big call, especially if bids start to arrive. So they've got to make a decision on the goalkeepers. I said it in my last video that for me, I would probably sell Leno, and I know that sounds a big call, and I know a lot of you agree with me, to be fair as well. But just Martinez, every game you see him play, you get more and more impressed by him. All his areas of the game are strong. He's fantastic at shot stopping, just like Leno is, but certainly coming for crosses and controlling his area. You've got to say he's more impressive than Bert Leno for me. So Leno's obviously got the longevity to fall back on. Martinez still has only played like 12 or 13 Premier League games, so it's a big call to sell an experienced international goalkeeper in Bert Leno. But for me, I think I'd rather keep Emi Martinez. But I'm not the man who makes the decisions, and we'll have to wait and see what Arsenal do with that. Because if they don't sell Martinez this summer, if they decide to keep him, then they're probably going to have to give him a new contract, or they will need to give him a new contract, because he's got 2 years left on his deal and he's not a high earner, and he's showing now that he deserves to be. And if Arsenal don't sign him to a new contract this summer, he's going to enter the final. It'll be down to a final year next year. So Arsenal got a big call to make on the keepers, and we'll have to see what happens with that. And Ainsley Maitland-Niles as well. What a fantastic performance yesterday. Again at left wing back. He's now earned himself a call up to the England squad immediately after the game. He was named man of the match. He scored a penalty, and it just makes it maddening that Arsenal are even considering selling him to Wolves. They've rejected a bid from Wolves already. Wolves probably will come in with a new bid for him. They've just sold Matt Doherty to Tottenham. That deal has now gone through, and you would imagine they're going to come back with an improved offer for Ainsley Maitland-Niles that hopefully Arsenal are going to reject. Like I said, I asked Mikel Arteta about it yesterday after the game, and he said to me that all he can do is to show he's got trust in Maitland-Niles is to keep playing him, and he's doing that again in a final yesterday. Maitland-Niles rewarded him with a very good performance. Now for me, Arsenal should not be considering selling Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He's only 23. It was his 23rd birthday yesterday. He's playing fantastically well. He can play in so many positions, in defence, in forward positions. He can play in central midfield. He can play on either side, right or left, equally as well. And Arsenal should not be considering selling Ainsley Maitland-Niles for me. There has to be other players at the club they've got to sell first. Guendouzi, Torreira, even Socrates, Mustafi, Kolasinac, got to put all their efforts into getting some sort of money in for these players if they can before you should even consider selling Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He's got 3 years left on his contract. He's now in England, going to be an England international. You can't be considering, unless someone offers crazy money, say 30, 40 million pounds, Arsenal should not be considering selling Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He showed it again yesterday. It's not Mikel Arteta's decision. He clearly wants to keep Ainsley. He's playing him in the big games. It's going to be a club decision if a bid comes in. And the fact that Arteta is playing him in these games is showing everyone that he wants to keep him. It's certainly showing Ainsley Maitland-Niles he wants to keep him. It's showing the hierarchy that he wants to keep him. And I just hope that's enough for Arsenal to resist any further offers that they're going to get for Ainsley, because he should not be one of the players that they are considering selling, and he showed that again at Wembley. In terms of the goalkeepers, one little thing. I mean, there's interest in Arsenal being reported in the Brentford goalkeeper. David Raya is obviously very good for Brentford this season, as they came within a whisker of qualifying for the Premier League. He's very well known at Arsenal. Arsenal's goalkeeping coach Inaki Kana came over from Brentford. He was the man involved with signing Raya for the West London side. And if one of the two goalkeepers does leave Arsenal this summer, either Martinez or Leno, it may well be Raya who comes in to replace them. Just a couple of little tidbits. Obviously, Aubameyang. I know a lot of you keep asking questions. What's going on with Aubameyang? What's going on with Aubameyang? Why no announcement yet? More interviews from both Aubameyang and Arteta after the game yesterday, saying it's close. Orba saying let's wait and see. Arteta saying he's very confident, he's positive that it'll happen very soon. Now, my understanding, it hasn't changed from Aubameyang has agreed to his new Arsenal contract, and it's just a case of an announcement. That's what we're hearing. That's what we've been told for a long time now. I know Arteta's going publicly and acting like it's not done yet. So's Aubameyang, but for my taking of the situation, and from what we're all hearing, is that Aubameyang has agreed his new Arsenal contract, and it's just a case of getting that announcement out. Now, when that's going to come, we don't know. We're still waiting. I was expecting it last week, so an awful lot of my colleagues were expecting it last week. It hasn't happened, so now we're going to go into another week. And look, Arsenal just need to announce it. They need to cut out the uncertainty. Just give the fans a little break, because the fans are getting more and more impatient with this. They want to know Aubameyang has signed his contract. It will ease a lot of nerves going into the new season. Hopefully, this week will be the week that we hear about Aubameyang putting pen to paper on his new 3-year contract, which has been agreed, as I said. And lastly, on Gabriel, it's a similar situation. Again, I'm getting so many questions on Gabriel. Why hasn't it been announced? Why hasn't it been announced? Is there anything wrong? No, there's nothing wrong. Don't worry. Calm down. He's an Arsenal player. He's here. He's been quarantining since Monday. He's not going anywhere. He will be, just like Aubameyang, as far as we're aware. This is just a case of the confirmation and the announcement coming through. It hasn't happened yet, but please do be a little bit patient, because we will be hearing very soon that Gabriel is an Arsenal player. One last little bit. Rob Holding played yesterday, played very well indeed. But as David Ornstein at the Athletic reported yesterday, now he's getting very close to a loan move to Newcastle. It's a move that I absolutely think is the right move for Arsenal. He's one player I don't think Arsenal should be selling yet. He's young, he's English, he's shown how good he can be in flashes when he's been an Arsenal player. The injury has not helped him. He hasn't yet got back to the sort of form he was showing before the injury, but he played well again yesterday. I think a loan would suit him really well. He could go away, get good regular football, which he needs, start trying to get that fitness back, getting back to the sort of levels he was before the injury, and then come back to Arsenal. And hopefully, David Luiz is going to go next summer, depending on what happens with Socrates and Mustafi. Even if they stay, they're out of contract next summer. For me, Rob Holding is not a player that Arsenal should be looking to cash in on right now. I don't think his value will be too high now anyway, because he hasn't played much football. But if he goes and plays a good year, a good season away in the Premier League this season, comes back, even if Arteta decide he doesn't want to keep him next year, you'd think his value will be far higher next year than it is right now. So for me, that's the right call. I know a lot of people are saying sell him, let's sell him now. Not for me. I think a loan option for Rob Holding is the best option. I think that's one we're going to hear of fairly soon, that he has headed off on loan, especially with Gabriel coming in. David Luiz is certainly going to play, Saliba's going to play, and there's still other options for Arsenal at centre-back. So Rob Holding on loan, I think, is a good option. All right, everyone, thank you very much for joining me. Apologies I didn't do a video straight after the game yesterday, just couldn't get around to it. I had a fair bit to work to do following the match, and with a press conference stuff from Mikel Arteta, so apologies for that, but I thought I'd pop on today and run through a few things anyway. So thanks for watching, everyone. Please do, if you haven't subscribed yet and you've just stumbled across this channel, then please do hit the subscribe button, and you can find me on social media as well, at Charles_Watts on Twitter, and I'm on Facebook. And also please do head over to goal.com. Like I said, I've got some stories up there following yesterday's game, and we'll keep you bang up to date all throughout this week on any of the latest Arsenal transfer news. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe.